This is a Lip Media podcast.
This is the fabulous Adam Richard. Fab to you guys, and joining me, as will be always, the delightful Posh.
Hello.
Phillip Lee Curtis. How are you? Delicious?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great. This is our first ever episode, but really it's a -1 episode because we're not starting until the book drops.
No, chapter 1.
But we have had a very wide-ranging, very interesting interview with Alison P. Davis at Vulture, which is part of New York Magazine, which Mariah has done at 1 o'clock in the morning. Which
oh my
is
God.
very Mariah.
Yeah, we'll touch on that, don't worry.
We're going to have just one whole episode of me moments today.
Me moments. We've had a few things going on this week, okay? Remix EPs, we've got Spanish EPs, we've got people calling for Mariah versus, because that's like a new thing with Brandy and Monica. I'm not even really sure. But there is so much happening. We had a tweet.
There's a lot happening.
We had a tweet go viral about someone mistaking Mariah Carey for Mariah Carey.
Oh, I know. And you know that would have been one of the committee. It would have been one...
Yeah, I don't remember dating this woman, but I did.
Some rainbow flag.
And all I could think about was two things. One, is it Marie Curie or Marie Curie, like Marie Claire or Marie Claire?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I've always said Marie Curie.
Same, but it reads like Marie. And then all I could think about...
Like the biscuit I would call a Marie. You know, the thing that you put at the bottom of a cheesecake.
I call it a Marie.
Oh, really? Wow. I call it a Marie.
Do you say nice or niece
for
I
the
say
biscuit?
Nice. Yeah,
because
that is
fancy.
correct.
It's
it is nice, though, but it is nice.
It is nice, but it's a nice biscuit.
Yes. And all I could think about was my only awareness of Marie Curie is from her amazing guest stint on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh my God, you're hilarious.
So
Nobel Prize winner twice.
Yeah, well, okay. And as Mariah said, she has 2 diamond albums, so they're practically the same person.
Although Mariah's albums aren't giving anyone cancer.
Lord
well,
Jesus.
she discovered radium, Marie Curie, and then it made her fall apart. Yeah.
She fucked off. She came back for one guest appearance on Sabrina, and then she died again.
Then she... Marie Curie. Amazing. Like, so many women in science have been minimized that it is a miracle we know Marie Curie's name at all.
Yeah. We don't know how to pronounce it, but we know it.
Marie, however it is. We celebrate you. Not Mariah Carey.
But we obviously celebrate Mariah Carey. We've also got the announcement of yet another Christmas special called Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special.
Don't even. It's going to be on that Apple Plus, and I cancelled that. I'm not going to get it back again.
You'll have to get it back. And my favourite thing about this is there is apparently a star-studded lineup of surprise guests. Who are we thinking? Is it Santa? Is it the elves?
Well, Santa, yes. Well, according to this Vulture article, a puppet of sorts.
Yes, and I have that in here too. Because I was going to say, if there's a puppet, because Mariah only wants to work with the best puppet, so who are we thinking?
There's only one puppet who would come up to Mariah's level as far as fame and spectacle goes.
Are we thinking of the same puppet?
Her Royal Highness Miss Piggy.
Yes!
Have you been watching The Muppets now? It is my favourite show.
No, but I should. Oh, really?
Oh, it is heaven. She does a thing called, as she says, lifestyle! Style! But they've spelt it wrong in the graphics. It's lifestyle.
Oh, my God. That is heaven.
It is hysterical. And every episode has Taye Diggs. Like, she has Taye Diggs on every episode.
Yes.
And also talks to Linda Cardellini on a Zoom chat. At which point, like, they've been doing it week after week. At one point, she had, like, Beverly Plume, who is a turkey that co-hosts the cooking show with chef and various special guests. Swedish chef and special guests like Dan Trejo. And then, so Beverly Plume is in one corner, and I think a rabbit or a chicken. She just has like she does Zoom calls with people who can't speak. And then at one point, Beverly Plume's like, I can't work the Zoom. And she's like, Piggy's like, I'm not even here to talk to you. I'm just here to talk to Linda Cardellini. I meant to make it look like I'm not here just for her.
Yes, that sounds a lot like us,
She's
actually.
heaven. It is the best. So
Okay.
Mariah and Piggy, I would adore.
Yes. It's got to be. I was thinking, if not Miss Piggy, Kermit, he's known to do the odd
Yeah.
duet. I even thought back to the, Melissa Joan Hart of it all, Salem.
Salem,
Throw
but
in a bit of
Salem
a
wasn't...
kitty cat.
I know Salem was technically a puppet, but...
But he was sorry, you're right, he was real. He was a talking
real.
cat.
Yeah.
And then I also thought of the goats from The Sound of Music.
Oh, another thing that High on Hilda Delaney goat turd. One of my favourite things in the Muppets now was Peppy the Prawn has a game show, and one of the games was, can you scream louder than this goat? And there was just this puppet goat that would turn up and go, seriously, it's well worth all whatever money I'm spending on the Disney Plus.
Absolutely. We're getting that goat on this podcast.
If Mariah does a duet with that goat, I'm into it.
Absolutely.
The goat is the only other one. Oh, Gonzo. I would love Mariah
Yeah.
and Gonzo.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Gonzo has the same sense of humour as Mariah. It's out
See, that's
there.
the thing, isn't it? Yeah. Got to have the humour.
Yeah, the humour.
And then just a couple of other small, quick things that are happening. We've got a book emoji.
Oh,
So if you go on the hashtag, so we will be utilising that 10,000%.
Well, yeah. If you've come here after seeing one of our many tweets or other social media instances where we've used
It's
the
just the
hashtag.
emoji. Times 90. This does bring us to the Vulture article. You don't
The
know
Vulture
her.
article. You don't know. And what a great... Like, naming it after our favourite GIF. Or
Yeah.
GIF, as some people
GIF.
say. I don't
Meme?
understand why people say GIF. Meme. I mean, she's
a meme. It's a
moving.
meme.
It's a meme.
Meme.
It's a meme.
Points to the notes.
But look, great piece of writing by Alison P. Davis. Her talking about the comfort of the couches and saying we've all seen that episode of In
Cribs.
Like, yes, I bought a gigantic couch because I was like, oh my god. 'Cause
Right,
I think she called them her mermaid couches because you could
my God.
stretch right out.
We might have to do an episode on that.
So yeah, Mariah's crib, which I loved. So yeah, like it's an interesting article because it says there are bombshells in the book,
Yes.
but it doesn't really drop any of them.
But then it also kind of says there aren't. That was my favourite bit.
Yeah, I love that. I did love one of my favourite things where Mariah does say, there's certain things that aren't in the book that we might be expecting. And she's like, anything that doesn't pertain to the meaning of Mariah Carey will not be in the book. So what I'm hearing is no J-Lo.
See, what I heard was no Nicki Minaj.
And perhaps not even any Eminem.
That's what's being said. There was a little sort of quote from the book that said something about Loverboy going on to be the #1 song of 2001.
Yes.
And then her finishing it off
She
was,
says,
I'm real.
like a mic drop.
But I will say, Alison, if you're listening, we did get off on the wrong foot, okay? Because within that first paragraph, there was a declaration of not liking All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah. Well, it was just full disclosure. I don't like it. And look, and I've got to
what
say,
is it when it's an incorrect disclosure? What do you call that?
correct disclosure.
Like, I'm sorry, you're allowed to have opinions, but not when they're wrong.
You see, like the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh my god. We weren't getting
We
political.
are not cultural dictators here at the Me I Am a Memoir podcast. Well, I'm not. If you want to hate a particular Mariah song, I'm happy to argue with you. I'm not just going to shut you down like Posh.
But that one...
That one, look, I have to
sacred.
say,
And what are you about to say? Be careful.
look, this is when it comes up on shuffle. If it is outside the window for festivity, I skip.
I mean, that's okay.
Like I will
Because
like,
you make up for it by listening to it 400 million times
I get,
during
like,
that
it's
window.
I have both of those albums on repeat for
Yeah, that's
pretty
fine.
much the from the 1st of November onwards.
I think that's Mariah approved. Like, Mariah
Yeah.
is on board with that. That's fine.
I know that Coles have plum puddings already in stock because I took a photo of one on the 1st of September. I'm like, oh, wow. The calendar turns and Coles are like, bring in the Christmas gear. We've got mince pies over here. We've got decorations over there. I'm like, it's September. Calm down, Coles.
I will say that Coles Radio, it's everything I need.
Oh yeah, they play Mariah about every 6 minutes once it hits.
Now, something
festive
else
time.
that I was obsessed with is when Mariah's talking about the Zoom meeting for the Christmas special.
Oh yeah, when
she's trying
talking
to
about her puppet.
Yeah, talking about
Which puppet?
exactly. She's trying to diplomatically tell them she doesn't like something, she thinks it's ugly, and her resolution to this is, it just isn't giving me Christmas warmth.
Oh.
This is now what I use in any situation. Like, doesn't have to be Christmas related. If someone asks me, where are we going with this relationship? And if I'm not sure, I will say, look, it just isn't giving me Christmas warmth.
That is the best.
The puppet is dry.
I remember hearing a friend of mine once who had trained their kids, like in Sound of Music with the whistle, had taught their kids never to say, I hate that, because they said hate's too negative. So they had to say, it's not my favourite. It
just isn't giving me Christmas warmth.
Then a little girl trying to pull her clothes off and going, this dress isn't my favourite. I can't wait to see you in tears being presented with something you didn't want, going, this isn't giving me Christmas warmth.
Yeah. That's what Alison P. Davis's opinion on All I Want for Christmas Is You gave me.
Yeah, that's how she feels about it.
But
I think, that is a ballsy thing to do in the first paragraph when you are going to be inundated with the Lamely. Mm-hmm. But then I think what that does is make people stop reading, and so a lot of hardcore Lamely may not have dug right into the article. They may not have.
They're having a tantrum like Posh style.
Yeah, they've burned burned their internet, so they don't have to look at it anymore.
I am done.
Because there are a lot of revelations in this. The whole thing with Ellen making her drink the champagne, and when she ended up having a miscarriage anyways, and that's why she didn't want to talk about her pregnancy at that time. And it's like,
And one thing I loved about the way she handled that was she brought it back to what it was about for her.
Yes.
Exactly the meaning of Mariah Carey. It wasn't about throwing Ellen under the bus.
And Mariah Carey.
Yeah. And I think she did a similar thing when it came to discussing bipolar and the time of Glitter, where she, and obviously we haven't read the book, but the illusion, like what Mariah has sort of talked about in the past was more about, like, yes, there's mental health. Yes, there's this. Yes, I have this. But it was the situation.
Yeah.
It wasn't because she had mental health issues. The situations were what or triggered. And I thought...
Yeah, and that was the time when, her ex-husband is trying to poison her career by giving all of her samples to J-Lo. Yeah.
I'm real, mic drop.
I'm real, mic drop.
But I think what was so great was just her, in each of those situations, bringing it back to reality for her point of view. Yeah. Not about making other people look bad. Not about sensationalizing or going for the headlines, which is probably why that question was asked, let's be honest. And she sidestepped that really well.
I did love it. And I love also just the description of her house, her kids having a little celebration moment for Save the Day.
Yes.
It's so cute. It is just adorable. All it has done, which I think was the intention, is really whet my appetite for what we're going to get in the book.
Honestly. And just the fact that half of the conversation, Mariah is referencing her own songs. So during the Tommy Mottola, she talks about being a prisoner. During co-parenting with Nick, she literally says, or sings, "It ain't easy, baby," which is the end of The Art of Letting Go. Like, I hope that this is just the book.
Well, I think it might be the book.
It'll definitely be the audiobook.
The audiobook, I think she's just going to start singing the ends of chapters all the time.
Yeah.
Which I'm really looking forward to. Apparently, judging by this article, the song Outside, which is one of my favourite songs of hers, is a big part of the book. The lyrics are really a huge part of what's going on in the book, and she will be singing it in the Audible version.
Oh my goodness.
Audible exclusive, going Mariah. It's an exclusive.
Oh yeah,
By the way, I've
exclusive
ordered them
sham
both.
too.
Like, I'm just waiting for the end of the month, so I'm going to ingest them both immediately.
We also need to talk a little bit about a few of the references to the family. The first one being that she refers to her siblings as her ex-brother and ex-sister, which is just my new favourite thing.
Oh, also the fact that she insisted on calling
Alison AD.
AD, because I can't even say the name Alison.
Can't say the name
Alison.
It just doesn't come out of my mouth anymore.
It's not giving her Christmas warmth.
And when exactly. And when she said about not wanting to be an ATM with a wig, I've got to be honest, I want to see that ATM. I want to go down to the bank and see a Mariah ATM with a wig on.
ATM with a wig. There was like just one of those moments. There's so many great like Mariah-isms in this, like, and that's what I think a lot of people who aren't fans of Mariah, or who maybe only know one or two of her songs, don't know how funny she is. Like,
oh my god, I'll never forget in Melbourne at one of her concerts, she kept sort of asking them, I think it was to turn the light down a little, like it was too bright in her eyes, and she's like, can we turn this down? We've talked about this, and kind of goes on, and everyone's like, oh my god, she's gonna have a tantrum, this is just the one. I was like, no, she's serious, but she's also joking, if that makes it. Yeah, I asked you to turn it down an hour and a half ago and you still haven't, so you're getting in trouble. But also I am like, there is humor in this. I'm not really going to kill you.
I did a Mariah joke when I was on Celebrity Splash, believe it or not. Here's my Mariah confession. There will be many of these throughout the podcast. When I would do my first episode of Celebrity Splash, my first dive where I had to jump off the podium, and Kylie Gillies was up there. She was the co-host with Larry Emder.
The other
for those
Kylie.
who don't know, Celebrity Splash was a diving competition with alleged celebrities. I wasn't even the most famous poofter on that show. Like, it was like Josh Thomas was also on there.
Oh my.
I was partnered with Denise Drysdale. It was full on. But I was up there for my first solo. They put me in gold shorts like Kylie Minogue.
Yep.
Although board shorts all the way down to my knees. And one of my favourite clips ever of Mariah was, I think it might have been on the Today Show or something, or E.T., one of those. She was getting her makeup done and then she was about to go and do a gig. And she just stood up and goes, okay, everyone out, Mama's got to go to work. And so I just shooed Kylie Gillies off the platform. And I was like, okay, Kylie, shush now, Mama's got to go to work. And then I jumped into the water.
Yeah. Yes. Now, the other favourite quote for me from this was, back to the siblings, was she said, I think they're very broken and I'm sad for them, which is the ultimate burn, I have to say. Yes. I will be using this as well when people ask me about certain comedians or just people I don't like in general.
Yes.
I think they're very broken and I'm sad for them.
And I feel sad. You know, the other thing I will say that I loved was she goes, look, I have forgiveness for them in my heart. I just don't want them in my house.
Yeah.
I just don't want them around here causing trouble because they're broken. I was like,
maybe she should put a Mariah ATM out the front so they just come that close and then, all right, bye.
It is like that though sometimes. There are people in your life, like when you get to, Mariah and I are, practically the same age. So when you get to this age, you just get to a point where you're like, you know what, I really love these people. I know they've got problems. I've been burned several times and I feel terrible for them and I'm really sad about what's happened in their lives and I forgive them for everything they've done to me, but I'm not putting myself in the position for them to do more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, yeah, I'm really sorry that everything's gone wrong in your life, but you've had a few bites at the apple.
The golden. Now she also does mention that her mum is one of the book dedicatees, which is quite a word. Who else? Who else do we think made the list?
Certainly Rock and Roll, the Dem Babies. They'll be in the dedicatees. She does say that, there are some... Her mother's probably not going to be happy with the book.
I'm curious about that. Because all I know of her mum is the interview on Oprah from like 95 or something.
Oh, and her mum sings on one of the Christmas albums. Like, she does the operatic, I think she does the Hallelujah chorus while Mariah's singing Come All You Faithful. I can't remember, one or the other. Because I used to play it in the car. When we were filming Outland, that album came out, and so anyone who was foolish enough to get in my car and get a lift home would, I'd be like, oh, this is where Mariah's mum sings opera! I'm like, do you just listen to Christmas carols in the car all the time? What is the new Mariah album? Yeah!
Yeah.
2010 was a banner year.
Oh my God.
Me driving around in my busted up Corolla.
Oh my God. I think I remember that, actually.
I know. It was, I was a 40-year-old P-plater, and there wasn't a wall.
You were. You were. I remember. Yeah. Yep.
I crashed into
this.
everything.
God.
Well, I didn't hear the accidents because I had Mariah up.
Yeah, exactly. You're in the zone of Mariah.
In the zone.
Now, one of my things that I just adored at the end was that Mariah exits to use the loo as an indication that it's time to wrap up. Now,
but then she came back. And
she chatted a bit more, but she was like, you can go now.
She's like, oh no, I'm enjoying this.
It's like the hookup has ended, but they're still hanging around. Get out of my house. She refers to her as her ex-interviewer. But are we really to believe that Mariah uses the bathroom in that way? In my head, that's all taken care of by magical fairies at night and turned into her perfumes.
You know,
and she just went to the bathroom to bask in her own glory.
She's very real. Like, ever since I saw her blow her nose with a roll of toilet paper in glitter, I've been like, she is prepared to go places that no diva ever would go. Anyone that's prepared to just grow out her mustache for Precious, I'm like, she's into it. She's like, I will be unglamorous. But you
know that the makeup bag was under that desk. Like, she was in between takes. She was like, no, just a little.
Just a little.
Please. Please, God.
Just a touch. Because that's one of my other favourite moments when someone puts a candle down. She goes, oh no, underlighting. That is not good for me.
Especially for an interview that's not being filmed.
I know. It's just like, I can't handle underlighting, even in private, sitting next to my violin-shaped swimming pool.
I was saving that best bit for a last. To be specific, a Stradivarius with a 6-foot koi pond as the bow.
Well, I know, I love that it's just a casual mention that she's renting this house. Like,
I know, it's a quarantine pad.
There. She's just like, I'm just renting it for the summer.
Her actual house has just an entire orchestra pool. Like, it's just every instrument. And there was rainbow lighting.
Oh, it is heaven.
It is too much and yet not enough.
It's whet my appetite so much. So I'm very, very excited for our first chapter dropping in just a few weeks.
She's gifting so much at the moment. It's crazy. I also adored that the hashtag, what Mariah means to me, was out there in the world, and she's giving thanks to her fans and just really saying how much she loves and adores them, which is always nice to hear.
I'm very excited. Well, she means a lot to me, as you know.
Absolutely.
You know, I jumped off a diving board quoting her.
That's the only way to go.
I thought if this doesn't end well, I want people to be able to look back and go, oh, he was quoting Mariah. That's cute. And then they would know to play One Sweet Day.
Oh my God.
Followed by Hero.
Oh yeah. Can I sing Almost Home as you're being lowered into the ground?
Only if you cast the net 4 times. The Mariah Carey cast the net moment in Almost Home is possibly one of my favourite video clip moments of all time. It is... Oh, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the lighting change.
We might have to share your commentary that you did all those years ago as a special bonus.
I forgot about that.
But no, as we said, we're very excited. I think even the next few weeks is going to have some more exciting bits and pieces to come.
Certainly, as she ramps up the publicity trail, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. Although now, I really wish I was at that club with JZ. And
in Australia, he is JZ.
JZ. Well, I work at the ABC. That's how you say Z. JZ and waiting for Prince to come on at 5 a.m. with Shaka Khan singing after drinking all of that.
Like a trumpet. Yeah. I just feel like Shaka Khan is just everywhere. She's everywhere. She's everything.
Amazing. Just, there's so much
Actually,
in there.
I'm 900% sure that she actually favorited a tweet of mine that featured Mariah. All right, the tweet was, I wasn't born gay, nor was it a choice. I was hand-selected by my Lord Shaka Khan and Saviour Mariah Carey to worship at the altar of the almighty diva. And this photo depicts the exact moment of said blessing, and there was an attached photo. That's why they must have released a photo. But yeah, Shaka Khan saw it. I assume Mariah did as well, obviously. Yeah. But
there are millions and millions of mentions of Mariah on the internet. Like it's
from me, just from us. At the end of the podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright.
All right, so there'll probably be more of these surprise episodes coming up as we head towards our launch date for the book.
It's happening.
It's happening. We're barreling on ahead. It's very, very exciting.
The butterflies are starting to flutter.
Well, don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at me. I am a Memoir.
Yes. We have a Facebook and an Instagram now too.
Oh, we do indeed. Are they all still me? I am a Memoir?
Yep, yeah, exactly. Consistency.
And if you do need to send us like 3,000 words of praise, love, hate, vitriol, whatever it is, me, I am a memoir at gmail.com. Please rate this podcast on Apple iTunes, whatever it's called now. Apple Podcast, they got rid of iTunes, didn't they? They've devolved it. So wherever you get your podcasts, Acast, or if you're on Stitcher or Google, just please give us a rating. We would love you. Even 1 star is some sort of validation.
I'm sorry, what? We're like a restaurant. 1 star's good. Like the Michelin hats.
They weren't wearing masks. Thanks so much, Posh. I'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Bye, Lamley.